Hey guys, welcome back to the Laid Back Homestead. I'm Crystal and today we are back in the kitchen. We have some tomatoes to process and well, it's the first step to processing, which is for me, I choose to core and score mine and then put them in the freezer until I have enough of a harvest to either make marinara or this year hopefully some barbecue sauce and some ketchup as well. So here I have the tomatoes that I'm going to be processing, and on my cutting board I actually have the tomatoes I want to taste test. These are varieties that are new to me this year that I want to see if they're worth holding on to for next year. And then these ones right here, I'm going to core and score them and put them in a freezer bag, which I have over here. And of course my pre-composter to help with cleanup. So first I'm going to just take a slice of these so I can taste test them, just so I can get an understanding of their flavor profile. So I'm not sure why the audio didn't quite record here, but this first tomato that I'm taking a sample of is the garden paste. Ooh, Cherokee Carbon. Spot there. This is the Dwarf Pink Passion. Nice fleshy tomato so far. I'm liking that for taste. Now this is a chef's choice buy. I did actually grow this last year. I just don't remember exactly what it tasted like. So didn't go deep enough. Here we go. Feel it release. Pretty looking inside. It's got the oranges and the pinks. Very nice. Dwarf Wild Spud. Now this one has a lot of damage on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. Let's just look and see what it looks like on the inside. I've got more of them growing. This one has to go to compost. It'll not be the end of the world. I don't know what to expect in here. Not really. It smells okay. Kind of got a deep core in this one. Well, not too bad. The flesh just doesn't look super inviting. Maybe I'll just taste test this guy. So my 1 pounder, my black Brandywine, is actually going to go in the fridge. It's finished ripening up nicely on my counter, but I'm going to save this to slice for the first tomato sandwich of the season. I have my taste test contenders off to the side, and I even wrote down who's who so I know what I'm tasting. But before I go do that, I want to handle processing the rest of these tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started coring and scoring those. So sometimes when the tomatoes are really wonky like this, I just chop off the piece that's going to be usable for any type of sauce or whatever, and I will just add that to my Ziploc bag. So the benefits of coring and scoring is that since I'm freezing mine, when I take them out to defrost before using them, these skins will slip right off of the tomatoes as they defrost. And since I don't really want the skins in my finished product, this is the fastest way. Since I don't have any fancy, tools when it comes to processing tomatoes, this is the fastest method that I have found that works to get the skins off. And so coring it just means going around the center, and you can almost feel when you've gone deep enough to release the core. It'll just kind of almost, see, it just starts to pop out like that. And then you've got a nice plug, and I just compost that. And then to score it, I just make an X on the bottom, just like that. And then they're ready for the freezer bag. Now, some tomatoes will have more or less of a core. It just depends on the variety. These Brad's Atomic Grapes don't have much of a core. They're very juicy. And you can tell if you don't go deep enough when you're coring them, because you will feel some resistance when you go to pull the core out. And normally I'll just take my knife and go back around. Editing Crystal here. If you guys happen to know any recipes for homemade barbecue sauce or homemade ketchup, please link or share them down below. I'd really appreciate it. So I got really excited. I thought I was done, and then I realized I had a whole other basket full waiting to be processed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to doing those. So as you can see, the process of coring and scoring the tomatoes is not a difficult one, but what it lacks in difficulty, it makes up in time consumption. This is the longest part of processing my tomatoes, other than cooking them down, but for that you're not actively doing anything. So if you're gonna do this, I recommend waiting till you have a big batch ready to go and popping in your favorite podcast or some music and just doubling down and getting it done. So here's the finished product. I have 2 gallon-sized Ziploc bags filled with tomatoes, probably 10 to 15 pounds total of tomatoes. This was off of our first harvest. So I still have a few green ones left to ripen, and my pre-composter is full and ready to be ran. Hey guys, so I have my cutting board here, and I'm gonna go ahead and taste these. I wanted to do it outside, but it is just way too windy for me to get out there and do that. So let me grab my salt shaker. Went and got the fancy one, since we're doing fancy things. All right, and I've got my list here of who we're gonna taste. The first one up is the garden paste. This one I'm very excited about. I'm gonna taste it first without salt and then with salt. Okay. Skin has a little bit of a bite. This definitely tastes like a standard solid red tomato. This is my first year growing these, and it's definitely got a meaty texture. I don't love the skin on it for fresh eating, but for sauce, I think it'll be perfect. Now this is a Cherokee Carbon. I've not grown these before. I've always grown Cherokee Purple, and I always really like the purple variety of tomatoes. Yeah, definitely. It's got that sweet, smoky profile. Even better with salt, but that makes for a very interesting flavor profile in different sauces for sure, which I love. Now this is the blue ribbon. Again, not loving the skin on it. This one has kind of a mild flavor. I think I'm gonna need to taste this one again. This one was a really small fruit. I don't know if this flavor profile is gonna be accurate with the larger fruit. Okay, so I'm not sure about the blue ribbon. Now this was the Dwarf Pink Passion. Tastes like basically a standard pink tomato. Can't really say I'm getting anything exceptional out of it. I mean, it's not a bad tomato. The flesh is soft and not too mealy. I do like that. I do appreciate that. Especially for fresh eating. I don't mind mealy so much when I'm making sauce and, you know, different things or cooking it down, because you really can't tell by that point. But when it comes to slicing for like a tomato sandwich, something fresh eating, I don't like it to be too mealy. Now this is another dwarf variety, the Dwarf Wild Spud. Now, I've tried growing dwarfs. This is my second year. My first year I got 0 tomatoes off of them, so I'm a little happy I got at least something to try. That's an interesting flavor. I like it. It tastes almost like a purple tomato, not as developed like the Cherokee Carbon. I like it. And the last one I'm going to taste is a Chef's Choice by. Try the pink side. That's really sweet. The yellow and the pinks tend to be. Maybe even almost fruity. I could see somebody picking up fruity notes on this. Oh yeah. He makes really nice sized fruits too. And then I just have a Brad's Atomic. Still my favorite. Garden paste is, no, the cream sausage I tasted in the tomato cooking video definitely is giving the Brad's Atomic a run for its money. Ooh, that's good eating. If you like sweet tomatoes, Brad's Atomic Grape and the cream sausage for sure will blow that out the water. The Chef's Choice Pie is also really good. I think I will try to rank them just out of the ones that I've tried here. Looks like more tomatoes are in my future. This will be an interesting season for sure. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really wanted to shoot my taste testing video out in the garden because it's absolutely gorgeous out here, but the wind had other plans. But I do appreciate you hanging out with me. So as always, stay blessed.